The problem that stops developers from finishing their projects. Every developer runs into this problem at some point in their career, and it can happen many, many, many times. And you have to catch it. You have to catch yourself. So what is this? It's something called scope creep. So your project scope is basically how large are the results that you want for your project? How do you want the end product to be? And when we're thinking about the end goal we have for our game, we might want all these different features. Say it's a FPS game, we want great first-person shooter mechanics, we want awesome running animations, we want lots of different customization for your character, your guns, all that stuff. And the more that you add to this, the bigger your project scope becomes, right? And the problem comes in when you set a certain project scope, a certain direction you'd like your project to go in, a certain end state, right? And you don't actually just leave it at that, right? As you go through the development process, you're going towards that goal, but you keep adding to it. You keep thinking, oh, I have this new idea. I want to add banana launcher to the game, and I want to add apple grenades, right? You start adding all this stuff that wasn't in your original plan. And as you do this, the scope of your game just expands and expands and expands and expands. Scope creep is detrimental. And the problem is, it doesn't seem like that when you're making your game. It seems like, oh, I'm having all these great ideas. I just had this idea and that idea and this idea. I'm making my game better. But here's the thing. You think that you're making your game better, while in reality, you are making it harder to actually complete your game. You're adding things that are probably unnecessary, even if they seem good to your plan. And now you have this project that is constantly expanding before you can even finish the base version of it. You have constantly moving goalposts, and your goalposts are where you want to go, your goals. And if you are, say, playing a football game, and you're trying to make a touchdown, goalposts are at the end of the field, right? It's like playing that game, except the goalposts just keep on moving back as you run towards the touchdown, right? Who's going to play a football game like that? At some point, everyone's going to quit. If you have too much scope creep, you will either quit because you can't finish your game, or you will finish your game, but it will take forever. So, here's the solution. Set that end result. Set that North Star for your game. Set that project scope, right? And keep it simple from the start. And watch your scope creep. If you have scope creep coming in, if you have that inkling of a sensation that's telling you, let's add this new idea in, let's expand all these new features. If those features aren't necessary, don't add them. If that new map isn't needed for release, don't add it. Leave your scope as it was when you started the project until you get there. Once you get there, then you can decide, okay, maybe we can look at adding some of these new ideas to the game. But at first, you gotta complete and bring to reality your original vision, your original project scope. Avoid scope creep at all costs. This is something that happens when you're managing any project, but especially in game development, because we have a lot of creativity. And this can be a positive thing, but in the extremes, with scope creep, especially at the high levels, it can become a negative thing. Watch out for scope creep. Don't be like all those other developers out there who are letting their project expand forever having those goalposts get pushed further and further and further back, and never actually finishing everything, and never actually starting to take their career forward as a developer. You've been warned. Don't be like them. All right? All right, I'm counting on you. Finish your projects. And don't let scope creep get the best of you.